Okay, 6 US Y. K6MYC, K6MYC, K6USY. I heard a short whistle, K6USY. K6MYC, K6MYC, K6USY. K6USY, Delta Mike 06.
K6USY, Delta Mike 06, KM6SR, Delta Mike 07, over.
Good evening, Rob. Yeah, come up on frequency a little bit, but go ahead and check me in. No K6ZKA tonight, and I'm on kid duty, so stream has started, and I got to put kids to bed, so I'll be listening from afar. K6USY.
Roger, you say no, what's going on tonight?
Yep, yeah, no wife tonight. She's got a meeting, so I'm here with the kids.
Okay, I still didn't get what, no 1790 what, something or other?
So 1079 and no 1100.
Oh, Okay, 1079's there, which is you, K6USY, and no 1100, which is K6ZKA. Okay.
Yep, and I haven't heard anybody else on frequency yet, so you'll see if you got to wake up Mikey. K6USY DMO6.
Yeah, I heard Mike whistling out here a little bit ago, over.
Yeah, it was a very short whistle, but I mean his rig is up and running because I can hear myself coming back through it. So he might be, I don't know, getting the air conditioner running in the shack or something. So, okay, I'm gonna run and go watch kids, and as I said, I'll be available, but I'll be back in here later. K6USY.
Okay, maybe they're all watching the debate. I assume it's already over with, but anyway, good to hear you, Aaron. K6USY, KM6SR, standing by.
Yeah, I have the debate muted because, you know, kids don't need to listen to this nonsense. I have it recorded. I don't know. I'll either watch it later or I'll just catch the headlights. It's on the TV, but it's muted at the moment. K6USY.
Yeah, roger on that. I feel the same way you do. KM6SR, standing by.
W6BBS.
Well, looks like the debate just finished, so I'm assuming Mikey will come out to the barn at some point. Everybody stand by, K6USY.
Mike Italy.
Good evening, John.
Hey, John.
K6MI, W6BBS.
Oh, Frank, good to hear you. And I think there's somebody else in there just wanted to check in, number 711. But I love hearing your voice and whatever you're up to.
Well, I just walked in, and Mike's not here taking check-ins?
I'm here.
Oh, he's there. Okay, I'll let Mike take over. So you got 711 and you got 72, Frank, W6.
Who's that? I'm here.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Mike, 711, and I heard someone else in there besides Frank.
Yeah, hi, John. KA6USY. And Frank, I think we're getting a late start due to the debate.
Oh, I see. Well, I've been having my own debating whether I'm sane to even do this hobby, but no, I just came off the hill from working on antennas and stuff.
Oh, I love it. Working on antennas. That's great.
Okay. Good evening, guys. Sorry I'm a little late. Dinner was a little on the late side today because of the comedy hour. We got 72. Good evening, Frank. Good evening, Aaron. Good evening, John. John put a signal here. You're sounding good. I'm not sure who else is in here. I'm beamed over toward Santa Cruz, so we should hear KW6S in a minute. I think he'll be in here.
KM6SRR.
And there's Rob, 432. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, Mike. I heard you whistle up quite some time ago, over.
I didn't hear what you said, something about a long time ago.
I think I heard you whistle up a long time ago, over.
Yeah, about 10 minutes after 7, I was out here setting up and get everything running. Then by that time, 10 minutes later, we sat down to eat, so it was 20 after 7 before we even started to eat. So we had a nice meal, but we did get it over with relatively quickly here.
Oh, and Mike, no 1100 tonight, so just 1079.
Oh, she abandoned you, did she?
Yeah, she's at a meeting tonight, so I got to go put kids to bed, so I'll be listening from afar. K6USY.
Okay, very good. I think Judy'd already put her in there. If you got her in there, you can leave her in there. It's not going to make any difference. All right. Let's see. I'm looking for Carrie, KC5DTU. I'm looking for Alpha 6 Sugar. I'm looking for WA6AAJ. And N6BYH may be around somewhere. WA6OIB, I don't think he'll check in. He was here last night. I'm not sure who else might be here. QRZ, and we probably have some other, well, let's see. I think Dave has 1296 up there in Course Gold. K6BBG may be in here as well. And perhaps Dane as well, get WB6JNP. So who do we have for check-ins? Again, I'm beaming toward the Bay Area. K6MYC taking anybody.
WB6JNN. 6RO.
Oh, okay. Two Bay Area people. Good evening to you, Ken. Stand by. You're good and loud. Let me get Jim in here. WB6JNN with some number starting with a 2 and ending with a 5, right?
Yeah, well, 285 is good enough, I guess, and that's just duck sunset about a half hour ago, and get on the vehicle, but we were eating dinner, so I just bypassed it. I can listen to all the talking heads, turn up and down with it, and down and up with it, and around in circles with it, so I'll do that later.
Okay, well, I missed the first part of it. I moved the antenna, and I heard talking heads and antennas. What was the subject you were commenting on, Jim? Over.
the debate was brought up, and I said I always just wait and get all the people there to sort of synopsize what was said on both sides of the issue. And I made up a little bumper sticker I thought of putting on my car. It shows Kamala at her worst and Trump at his worst, and the Democratic symbol and the Republican symbol, which would be the donkey and the elephant. And then I say, really? Is the best you guys can do?
Okay, who was that? The second to break in? Go ahead.
I got to get back to a Zoom meeting.
Well, I heard Jim finish up. Who was the comment after Jim? Go ahead.
I need to get back to a Zoom meeting.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, N6RO. What was your number there, Mr. Ken?
Bozo 835. I'll explain tomorrow night. Didn't get on 6.
Okay, no worries. And good to hear you. Go get your Zoom meeting, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow, Ken. It was much cooler here today, and this evening it's quite cool. It's down at probably a little bit over 80 outside, very pleasant. Go get your Zoom. N6 Radio Oakley, K6MYC.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, and I'm still pointed sort of toward the Bay Area, maybe a little bit further north. Jim, are you still copying me okay, or did I go too far for you?
No, you're S9 plus.
Yeah, you're pretty good here too. So I think I'm hearing N6RO without having to point at him there. Anyway, the only thing I wasn't quite clear on, you said you were going to have a little bumper sticker, but what was the bumper sticker going to say, Homer?
A picture of both candidates at their worst, smirking, and Kamala, of course, is laughing. And the Democrat symbol and the Republican symbol are next to them. And it says, really, guys, this is the best you can do? Or not this, these are the best you can do? Sort of my viewpoint is, going to be the best of two questionable possibilities, shall we say.
Okay, got it now. Yeah, well taken. And thanks for the explanation of the bumper sticker there. Okay. Well, let's see who else is in the Bay Area that's hearing us there. WB6JNN we have. Anybody else in the Bay Area? K6MYC.
Kilowatt 6 Whiskey India Sugar.
K6S 610.
Okay, I hear quite a few here. Let me do this. Let's get you, Paul, quickly, because you're the hardest, but very strong at the moment out of the Bay Area. K6 Whiskey India Sugar, and you can give us your Bozo number and anybody else you have for check-ins. Over.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. K6MYC in the group. This is K6WYS, number 637. Signals bounce pass are very strong right now. You're 5.7 to 5.8. This is the strongest I've heard you on the bounce for quite a long time, Mike. So I thought I'd just get my check-in done early. And back to you. Over.
Okay, no relays at the moment?
Nope, nothing to relay.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you're strong too. What a change from last night and the night before. The last 3 nights have been dismal on the VHF and well, all VHF bands until tonight. We're up at the microwaves tonight. This is good. Hopefully it'll continue this way. This is super signals from you, super signals from Jim, and all is good. Let's see who. Oh, I heard 2 or 3 others in there, so why don't you guys go ahead and give me some more Bozo numbers. I heard a bunch of them, and now I can't remember any of them. K6MYC, look in the Bay Area. Oh, I know what it was. Here, let me do this. Since we got good copy on Tom, let's pick up Tom, and then we can start to rotate the antenna up more into the Bay Area. I'm not pointed at you, Tom, but super signal. KW6S, go ahead.
I know.
Yeah, very good, Mike. Yeah, you're doing real good.
Tom, you get weaker.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at how good
he doesn't hear me. Okay.
Here. Although I did turn up and didn't hear anybody else in the Bay Area. But you're doing real good here. And otherwise, just enjoying life.
Okay, very good. We got covered up by somebody talking on the frequency. I'm not sure who's on here making comments. We would love to have you in here, but we got to have you in here in order so we don't step on other members. So let's see if we can hang in there a second. Tom, thanks very much for being there and checking in. Let's see who else is in here. KW6S in Santa Cruz, 610. K6MYC. Who else did we have?
W6BBS. Okay, don't turn the antenna to Tom, because every time you do that, your signal drops way down. Wherever it is,
W6BBS, KW6S.
When you point at Tom, you're fine. Because you make adjustments and then you disappear or something. I'm just making the comment because I've noticed this repeatedly.
It sounds like there's another conversation going on the frequency there, Tom. KW6S, W6BBS. I just wanted a signal report to see if this seems to work any better for you. Over.
Yeah, everything, I'm hearing you quite well tonight, although it's the signal's up and down quite a bit. Mike has been real steady and stronger than normal, but yours is up and down, but not fading away yet.
Getting fine both ways.
Yeah, Roger that. You got the same thing. You're at S6 or so on the peak, but I can't rotate or peak on you right now. But I've got my antennas. I moved them 200 feet up the hill, so they're effectively 60, 70 feet higher than they were. And so I just wanted to give it a quick test. I can't rotate. I just pointed basically to the west just for tonight, just for the test. Over.
Yeah, and he's running just 10 watts through a lot of feed line. Over.
Yeah, no, it's doing quite well, doing better than before, where we had to wait for a good night and screw the headsets on real tight. So this should be a good improvement here, Frank. W6BBS, KW6S.
KW6S, W6BBS. Yeah, we got, let's see, 200, there's about 250, 260 feet of feed line all told from radio to antenna. And so, but it seems to be working well. All right, thanks for the test, Tom. Have a good evening. W6BBS, back to net.
Yeah, and we're trying to experiment here. This is something that I had never done for sure, and I'd heard plus and minuses about it, Tom. 100 plus feet of that run he's got is inch and 5/8, and I had heard negative comments occasionally about inch and 5/8 on 1296. He has a piece that measures pretty good. It measures about 1.2 to 1 mismatch, so it's got a little bit of an issue, but it's good coax. It's clean. It's probably, so apparently it's not lossy. It may be just connector differentials and stuff like that. Anyway, that's the experiment, and when Frank gets time over the next few days, he'll probably put the watt meter up there and put the radio in the beacon mode and then run up and see how much power he's getting out of his smashing 10 watts. Over.
Hey, let me comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's it's either 204 or 212 feet of inch and 5/8, Mike. That's an over a 200-foot run. Now, out of the back of the radio is Superflex, and it's a 20-foot piece. It goes out of the shack, and on DIN connectors, it connects to that hard line. Then it's the hard line all the way up the hill, and then you've got about 40 feet, 45 feet of LMR 400 getting up to the antenna. Over.
Yeah, okay. Well, I thought the inch and 5/8 pieces were 100 feet long each, give or take. Or do you have them in series?
Negative, Mike. Remember the last two that we pulled out of your place that ran all the way around to get to that lower tower? Those were long. Those were 200 feet long, and you gave me those two when we ran the new one. I still have my original, which was a 90-foot piece and 126, I think it is, foot piece. And those are in use too, but no, those were like 204 and 212 or something like that, those two pieces that ran all the way around. Over.
Okay, well, I got confused. I'd forgotten about the two longer ones. I thought you just had two pieces about 100 feet each, but those were the original ones, and I'd forgotten about the two 200-footers. Okay, super. Well, anyway, it's working, and you're loud down here. Tom, for your final comments about our fiddling around with coaxes and measuring power, which we haven't done at the other end of those yet, over.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you kind of touched on something I always had wondered about when the coax diameter starts becoming a significant portion of a wavelength. There must be something that starts changing there, but I just never have thought about it or read about it enough to really know. So now I probably will. Okay. And I'll report back if I find anything useful. K6MYC, KW6S.
Okay, and we're going to report forward to you on what is actually usable from a practical sense, not from a technical sense. But you're right, the inch and 5/8 start to have some moding. That's what I understood. There was some moding going on, and it's almost approaching waveguide. It's a little undersized for moding, but there's some oddball modes that it starts to invoke, and that's where people had some question mark on whether you should use it at that frequency or not. 1300 probably as high as you should go with inch and 5/8. Aye. Okay, very good. Good comments, and hopefully some other people got some useful information out of that. Let me go back over to the Bay Area now. Let's see. I'm not sure who else is in here. Anybody that hasn't picked it up yet, go ahead. Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie in the Bozo Net. Okay, I hear you, Fred. A little weak at the moment. You were stronger earlier. KD6SOK, and I think you were talking when Frank and Tom were talking. I think you were underneath there, but apparently you weren't hearing Frank and you weren't hearing Tom. So I don't know who you were referring or talking to. Let me see if I can peek on you a little bit. Take a transmission there, Fred. Give us your Bozo number as well. KD6SOK, K6MYC.
W6TQL.
Roger.
Yeah, my comment was that when you point at Tom, you're fine. But when you turn to the bear, you somehow go weaker if it's just from me, maybe. And I heard Jim TQL underneath me. But yeah, I don't know. You're at F9 at times, and then the band kind of drops down a little bit. But what I'm saying is, when you point at Tom, you're okay. There's no need to change it from there. You're stronger when you point at Tom for some reason. I don't know where the signal's bouncing from. I can't figure it out. Anyway, 507. KD6SOK.
Fred, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you, Mike.
Well, you didn't give my call, and you didn't give your Bozo number, and I never turned south, so I'm not sure. That's why I was lost, as when you said when I turned south or something. I haven't moved the antenna since I started. I went slightly more to the north, but it should have only gotten a little bit better for you, over.
Okay, all right, 517 KD6SOK. Sounds through, Mike.
We're still waiting for your Bozo number, Fred, and what did you say? Did the signal go up or down from the beginning, over? KD6SOK, K6MYC, Fred? Well, I guess Fred's on another wavelength here this evening. I'm not sure what's going on. I couldn't understand a lot of what he said when he was talking underneath Frank, and I wasn't sure if he was talking to me or whether he was talking to you, Jim. Maybe you can set the record straight. W6 Papa Queen London, and Judy would like to hear your Bozo number from your lips, please. K6MYC. W6PQL, go ahead. What happened to the band here? Tom, are you still copying over there?
Well, Mike, I actually have my antenna pointed up the Bay Area. I'm still receiving receiving you well, but I haven't heard anybody up there.
Okay, well, Jim broke in. Fred was talking, but I don't know who Fred was talking to because he was talking underneath of Frank. We had Frank and you talking, and you guys were covering what Fred was saying. He didn't know that, of course, and that's what I was trying to tell him. But we didn't know who he was talking to, so I missed what he was saying, and I missed who he was talking to. And he thought he was talking to me, but now he's gone away altogether, and I can't get any clarification. And I don't know, maybe it's getting close to a time. It's probably time where Jim is going south for Santa Barbara, so maybe we'll catch Jim in a few minutes. He's probably up 10 kilohertz here. Anyway, 1296 is Jim's number. So you can write him in. He did check in. Now, who else do we have? I think we've got some other locals here as well. K6MYC Bozo Net.
KB6PA 900.
Now, there's a big signal. Good to hear you, Oliver, and thank you. KB6BA number 900. And welcome back to 1296. I think it's the first time we've heard you in about 2 or 3 weeks on 1296. Take one, and maybe you heard Jim say something about sliding up in frequency. I didn't catch it, perhaps. He may have said it while I was talking. KB6BA, K6MYC.
Okay, sounds good, Mike. Yeah, I just turned the volume up, but good to hear that Jim is back and enjoying the last bit of summer here. Still mid-70s and warmer tomorrow. Not too much to report, just getting ready for my contest operating in a week and a half. Probably go down to San Joaquin Valley near Kettleman City and work my way north to work up microwave operators in Fraser Mountain. K6MYC, KB6BA.
Okay, you're not going to operate the September ARRL contest. You're going to operate the UHF contest after that, is it?
I'm just doing the microwave contest, not doing the 220 and up, or what ARRL calls the UHF contest. I won't be involved in that this year.
Okay. So the microwave contest is the week after the ARRL contest, is that right?
A week from the Saturday, and the second of two weekends, the first one was in August, and the 2 weekends together contribute to the aggregate score for each participant.
Okay, where does the contest start? Do you do anything at 1296?
It starts at 10 gigahertz and up, and most of the participants are in 10. A handful of people in the Bay Area are active in 24 and sometimes 27 gigahertz, and 1 or 2 people in the Southland, in addition to 10 gigahertz, are also active on 24. So a lot of people are using the IC905 new microwave radios to get on 10 gigahertz for the first time.
Yeah, very good. Sounds like it might. Sounds like it's going to be an interesting contest, and we'll be interested in to hear how many people you worked and where they were, and where the big hub. Well, I'm pretty sure the activity hub is big in the Bay Area. You've got a lot of people up there that are talented and have equipment for that frequency. I kind of run out of gas at 1296 here, but that's if I had eyesight, I would probably be up at 2304 and maybe higher, but I really don't have. Although I got a good QTH, I think I could probably put something on at 10 gigahertz and work quite a few people, but I don't think that's going to happen here. But anyway, I sure hope you have fun. Back to you for your final, Oliver, KB6BA, K6MYC.
Okay, I understand, Mike, and I hope everything works out for me, and catch you on the air on the usual bands in a few days. K6MYC, KB6BA.
Okay, so you're going to operate a little bit of the the September ARRL contest, are you?
No, I meant that I'll catch you on the usual nets here. Is Saturday the night that you normally operate in a bunch of bands, like about an hour apart on contest weekends?
Yeah, okay. I got it now. Alrighty. 7-3 for now, and we'll see you tomorrow perhaps on 2 meters. KB6BA, K6MYC, looking for anybody else anywhere, copying me. Okay, let me see. How about back in the San Joaquin Valley? Kerry, are you here? KC5D to you. AA6S. WA6AAJ. Sure, we got you, Jim. W6PQL, K6MYC. You must have changed your heading. I did not change mine, but I had to move the antenna 5 or 6 degrees more to the north, and then you would peak way up there. Anyway, good evening to you again. Take a transmission, and I think you went down to catch Santa Barbara. You might mention if you worked Steve down there, and you also might mention if you had any further conversations with Fred. Because I was talking to Fred, but I was having trouble copying him, and I was asking him questions, but he was not responding. So I don't know what happened to Fred, whether he misunderstood what I was saying or what. W6PQL, okay, 6MYC.
Okay, Mike. Well, I never did hear Fred. When I've got my antenna pointed at you, it's the atomic null is on Fred, and he's got the same situation going on there. I haven't changed my antenna heading, but I think you were probably just a few degrees further to the south, and that's why you probably didn't have me in your quite in your main lobe. You know, a few dB on this band will make quite a bit of difference. I have probably about 5 minutes worth of stuff to tell you about, but I'll wait for tomorrow on 2 meters when conditions are a little bit better, and kind of give you a rundown on it. But basically, over there, I had 49 new contacts, 17 of them on 2 meters, 32 on 1296. And the total so far in 5 years on 2 meters are almost 600 contacts. And on 1296 over 2 years, 223. So that's pretty good for the last couple of years on 1296 for the last 5 on 2 meters. Dave Hobbs, WA6LOL, was in there. Every time that we both had the moon at the same time, I was able to hear him just fine. Matter of fact, he was typically -20 on JT65 or Q65, either mode. And we made contact a couple of times, but we both were able to hear each other all the time. And he turns out to be a pretty good operator on EME. I guess he's had some experience doing it by now. So he's class act up there. K6MYC, W6PQL.
I missed one thing. The class act, you were referring to Dave, WA6LOL?
Yeah, I was referring to Dave. He's doing very well as far as operating procedure and so forth. He's pretty good on EME. Over.
Yeah, no, we've been kind of mentoring him a little bit, but he's a fast learner and he's very sharp. I was explaining to him the other night. We had a nice session. I think you were here, but you were tired. And we started out, he asked me a question about Faraday rotation, and I kind of went into about a 10-minute dissertation of explanation because he had it kind of tangled up. He thought the Faraday rotation continued, and the signals continued to rotate once they went through the ionosphere. And I said, no, the only thing that caused them to rotate was the electron content in our ionosphere, going and coming. And then, of course, they reverse polarity, reverse circularity. When you hit the moon and come back the other way, you've got a reverse circularity. You hear your own echoes. So that was just a recap of what we went through. So he's learning. He's absorbing information, and when he hears it, I try to give it to him straight and in a clear format, and he picks it up and learns it very well. So he's done well. He's got 4 XP32s that he's going to have on. So the next time you you hear him from over there. He's going to rip your ears off, over.
Oh, yeah, those are long antennas. My gosh, the XP32 must be about 35, 40 feet long, aren't they?
Yeah, right about 40 feet. He's got the ones that I had up here. I had those for many years up here, and we took them down, and I put the XP22s up when I designed the 22s, and I just never got the XP32s back up. So I thought he seemed to be very keen on them, and I gave him a wonderful price on them, and he came down and picked them up. I was surprised that he did that, but he's followed up with everything. He's still in the process of trying to get them up because, as you know, I think he's not. Let's put it this way: mechanics of H-frames and stuff like that is not his forte. So he's still learning, but he learned an awful lot getting the 4 Cushcrafts. That's what he's got up there now. He's run smoke. He's running real serious power. I think he's got one of your amps there on 2 meters with a pair of devices in it. So it's giving you good signals to work with. And he's pointing correctly and all that. Anyway, thanks for that feedback, and we'll be anxious to hear more details tomorrow night. But phenomenal on your 600-plus contacts overall on 2 meters and 200 almost on 1296. Sounds good. And I'm sorry that I'm not taking part in that. We had talked about it here. Frank had talked about, we have a dish here that Frank will have probably next year. And if you go again, Frank will be working you here, W6BBS. Frank, are you still here?
Yeah, roger that. I'm in process of getting a base in and where that dish is going to go put together here. I just got a little sidetracked moving this other antenna up the hill, over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's progress is occurring on getting the 10-foot dish that we found discarded in a canyon near me. Somebody threw it over the side as junk, and we dragged it out, and it's got a little bit of damage, but it's a very nice dish. So that'll be, maybe you'll be working, Frank, next year off the moon on 1296. Jim, W6PQL for your final this time, K6MYC.
Okay, Mike. Well, it'll be an easy contact. We got to get Frank some power, I think. But even if he's got just a couple 100 watts, he'll probably be able to do pretty well with that 10-footer. I've got an 8-footer. And one thing I noticed this year, there wasn't a big change on sun noise on 2 meters. I get about 3.5 dB of sun noise on 2 meters, but on 1296 this year I had 10 dB plus a little bit of sun noise, and last year I only saw 8. So I'm not sure what's going on. I think the sun is just noisier. Has it been since last year?
Well, the sun can be different from one day to the next, depending on it. We do have a very unstable, noisy sun this sunspot cycle. So you can go by sun noise. It's a good reference point on a minute-by-minute basis, but you wouldn't want to use it as a solid reference. But your noise on 2 meters sounds about right. You've got, if you had 4 of those antennas, your sun noise would be about 6 to 7 dB. You've got 3.5 dB now, so you're right where you should be with the pair, over.
Yeah, that sounded about right to me, too, when I ran all the calculations. And as far as 1296 goes, my sun noise is comparable to what everybody else is getting. I did notice one thing, though. The guys that are running those 8-foot fold-up dishes and using a patch feed, they're reporting about 6 dB of sun noise, so that dish isn't real efficient with that particular kind of feed, over.
You say they're getting less sun noise than they should?
They're getting less sun noise than they should with the size dish that they have in a patch feed. This is the W2HRO fold-up dish, and they're generally fed with a patch feed. It's circular. They have to use a kind of hybrid to make the shift and get them into circularity, but the whole thing is less efficient. They're reporting 6 dB when I was reporting 10.5, so I know that there's a bit of a loss with the kind of feed system that they've got, and perhaps it wouldn't match up with the dish's front, focal length. That could be that too. But anyway, they know about it. I've let them know what my measurements were, and they compare that with theirs, and they might do a little bit better with a different configuration. They were both 8-foot dishes.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that next time. I'm not comfortable with 100% copy here because of your QSBing, and you're probably seeing the same thing on me. But let's talk more about that next time. I'll just put the bug in your ear. We have a nice 1296 right-hand, left-hand switching feed horn that we've developed at M Squared for that dish for 1296. We've got the feed horn here that Frank will be using. We thought it would be on there already, but Scott built the feed horn for him, and we could build more. So that may be something you may want to look at. It would probably illuminate the dish a little bit more efficiently than the patch. Over.
Well, I'm not using a patch. I'm using a septum feed. The guys that are using those fold-up dishes are using the patch feed.
Okay, what are you using?
I'm using a septum feed. I don't have a choke ring on my feed. I'd probably get maybe a couple dB more sun noise if I had that choke ring to get rid of the noise off the edges of the dish. But it's circular, and it's got one port for transmit and one port for receive. Circular polarization, septum feed. Over.
Roger, that's what we've got. We've got one septum, one ring on the outside of it. It's about 4 inches square, 3.5 inches square, about 12 to 14 inches long, with this ring shield on the outside, much like a scalar feed. We can give you more details. We can talk more about this when we got more time here. And I could even take a picture of it and send it over. But I can get Scott to give you the details on what the F to D ratio feed optimized F to D ratio is for that particular horn and how to change it. Anyway, let's talk more. But sounds interesting, Jim, and you have done some good research on it. W6PQL, K6MYC.
Okay, Mike, well, I'll let you go for tonight, and we'll have better conditions on tomorrow. It takes you a while to get over to the Bay Area now, so I'll be looking for you probably starting about 8:30, because that's about the time it's been taking. Until then, I'll probably just listen in a little bit ahead of that time until you get pointed this way. 73, we'll see you tomorrow. K6MYC, W6PQL.
Roger, there's about a 10 to 15 dB fade QSB on you, up and down, and you're probably seeing the same thing on me, Jim. Alrighty, 7-3, we'll see you tomorrow night, and clean up anything that we didn't get through tonight. Let's see, is there anybody else for check-ins before I leave the Bay Area? Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie, Bozo Net 1296. Okay, nothing heard. I'm going to go right up towards Sacramento. Okay, this should be pretty close for you, John. KR6MR, Kilo Romeo 6, Mexico Romeo, Meadow Vista, Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie, K6MYC calling on the Bozo Net 1296 and standing by. Maybe he's not looking at the live stream. I don't know. Is the live stream working, Aaron? If you're handy.
Yes, sir. We're on the air. K6US Live.
Yep, and I hear your own voice coming back. You're loud here now. Okay. Well, I'll stay here for a few minutes. We don't have anybody else except KE6ILX, and he's in the same direction up there in Grass Valley. KE6ILX, N6RZJ, KR6MR, 3 of our 1296 stations in the Sacramento area. This is Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie. We also have K6 Whiskey India Sugar Do I have any signal up there for you tonight, Paul, on the direct path? K6 Whiskey India Sugar, K6 MYC. I'm not hearing anybody. KR6MR, KR6MR, N6RZJ, or KE6ILX. It isn't that late here. I guess we should go to 1290. Oh my goodness. I probably missed the boys in the Nevada area. Let's go up to Nevada since I'm not hearing anybody here. Maybe we can catch the remains of 272 and whoever else sent me there. Nevada, here we go. Okay, Nevada. KE7UQL. KE7UQL, we're a little bit late, Daniel, I'm sorry. KE7UQL. KE7UQL, Carson City, K6MYC, calling and listening.
Roger, K6MYC here.
Okay, we got you. A little bit off frequency. You might want to tweak a little bit on the frequency. Bring my pitch up a little bit or down, one or the other. You're a little bassy, but pretty good copy. Good to hear you, Daniel. Sorry I'm so late. We got a late start on the net because of late dinner here. KE7UQL, K6MYC, over. Let's try it again, Daniel. Somehow I screwed up here and the antenna went back to 330. KE7UQL, K6MYC. Did I come back for you? Got your 73s and your Rogers, Daniel. Got your 73s and your Rogers. The band seems to be doing similar to what it was doing last night on the other bands. Very unstable. Very funny QSB pattern here. Anyway, thank you so much for always being there, Daniel. You're a real trooper. 73s, my friend. KE7UQL, K6MYC, looking for N7 Whiskey Tango on CW, Larry. N7 Whiskey Tango, go to CW, Larry. I don't hear anything. N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT, K6MYC, calling and listening. Over. N7 Whiskey Tango. One more call for you, Larry, but it doesn't sound like you're there tonight. N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT, Gardnerville, Nevada, K6MYC, calling and standing by. Over, Larry. Okay, I'm not hearing Larry. Daniel, 73s, Daniel, 73, Daniel. KE7UQL, K6MYC. See you tomorrow on 2 meters, over.
Roger, see you on 2 meters. Big signal at this time, KE7UQL. Thanks, Mike, 73.
Roger, 73. Big signal, but lots of flutter, 73. Okay, let me go back here to see if we can get John in here.
301.
301, I don't want that.
328.
Yeah, let's go there and then I'll tweak it up to 335. Coming down toward KR6MR, KR6MR. That's close enough. KR6MR, 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 K6MYC, K6 Whiskey India Sugar, N6RZJ, KE6ILX. Anybody copy at all? K6MYC, Bozo Net, 1296. Okay, I guess we're about done for the evening here. Rob, how are you doing? And then shoot it over to Frank. I don't think we picked up the last of the course gold guys, but they were up there probably too late now. And KM6SRR on the group, K6MYC.
Okay, Mike, I got a phone call in the middle there, so I may have missed some people there. Do you have a count now? Over?
Yeah. Judy's going to give a, what, 13?
13.
Yeah, 13.
Okay, yeah, that's what I got. Boy, that's pretty thin, huh?
Yeah, pretty thin. I knew it would be. I guessed 15 tonight, but I told Judy we'll probably only have about
14. I didn't put you down.
Oh, I'm 14 with me in there.
Well, I guess I missed one here. Okay. Can I read you the numbers? You can tell me whether they got any more.
Well, what we did do, the reason we're a little high is we did list Brittany. She had already written Brittany in when Aaron said that she was off AWOL tonight, so we put her in anyway. Over.
Okay, yeah, that's I don't have. I heard him say she wasn't there, so I didn't put him in. Do you want me to put her in, over?
It's up to you. It doesn't make any difference to me. I just did her the courtesy of, and we had it written down already. It was either that or scratch her off, and it just didn't make sense to scratch it off. She's a good supporter of the system, over.
Yep, roger on that. Okay, I guess that's a short one. I'll submit that. Do you want me to hang around? See, well, we got the only late people that come in sometimes are Dave, LOL, and sometimes John, K6MI, but he's already in. And I don't think Dave has 1296, so I guess I'll just do the log and submit it, over.
Yeah, I think we're done. You did get John, of course, and I agree with you. I don't think Dave has 1296. I couldn't remember whether he had it or not. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't get Kerry in here. Kerry should be checking in with us, even though it only takes a few minutes. I wish that he would be checking in because he has the bands. But maybe he's wrapped up with the comedy act thing going.
Yeah, Dave has a 9700, but no antenna hooked up on 1296.
Yeah, well, he knows that could be corrected.
Oh yeah, it's he just has to roll up to the warehouse next time he's down here for a club meeting, and we'll happily load a 1296 antenna into the back of his car.
Oh, where is he going to get that? From me or from you?
Well, I said he could just go to the warehouse and buy one.
Oh, the warehouse up there on Selland Avenue. Okay, I got you. No, I got pieces here. I could put one together for him. Yeah, I know he's economically pinched, but he's got a radio. It seems silly not to have him in here, over.
Yep, you just got to keep him from pointing it at the moon. Tell him to point it at the horizon.
Yeah, one antenna, not the dish. I'm talking about I'll give him a little, either a 13 element or a 22 element antenna, over.
Yeah, roger.
There was one that showed up in that West Valley flea market this last weekend. The guy wanted $100 for it. It was a bargain, but I think Gary, WB6 whiskey, no, what the hell's Gary's call? Anyway, he just doesn't have a radio for 1296, or he would have bought the thing. It was a pretty good price. I think they go for a bit more than that. Anyway, it was all built and everything, all put together. So, but there's one floating around from somebody in the Bay Area. I guess the guy has either gotten off of or gotten out of ham radio or something. Anyway, we'll fix up Dave when he says, pulls the trigger and says, help me out. Alrighty, let's see. Frank, over to you. And you wrap it up, and I guess we'll see you in the morning, all things considered. It looks like you're about probably tired of playing with ham radio. I know you're just exhausted playing with ham radio. You'd rather do anything but that, right?
Well, some aspects of it. You know, as you knew, when I talked to you, I was working on the feed lines, and so I took your advice. And what's funny is when we had the conversation, I had just, an hour before made the decision that I was going to run both my runs of 7/8 up the hill for 1296. And so I'm color coding my cables as I'm doing everything. So I got to cross those two cables. I got to open the tower and swap them at there, and I got to swap my tape and everything. So I go do all that. So the cables are going to have the right colors and the right antennas and the right cables. So I get everything swapped back around so the 1296 is on the right deal. And now everything dead ends all in 1 5/8 right outside my shack. And so I start working on this end and bringing it in here, and as I bring each band in, I test it, and everything is working just fine. It's showing good, and so I get done. Now the rotor cable, the rotor is the same rotor that was on the launcher right here in front of the trailer that I used for months or a year or whatever. So it went straight up there, very careful with the cabling and everything. And it comes halfway down the hill. So I sorted through, and I got a roll of my cable that will go up the hill. And this is not normal rotor cable. This is, there's actually 4 pairs in it. They're number 14 wire. There's 4 pairs, twisted pairs. Each are black and white, and they got numbers on them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I forget what they were made up for, but anyways. So I sat here in the shade with both ends of the cable, stripped it back a little bit, and put crimp connectors on one end and put forks on the other end to go to the rotor control box. And I checked, and looking at a picture of the end of the other wire, which I already knew the colors, but just to be sure, there's a yellow wire, so I made a yellow wire. And I checked both ends as I made it. Okay, I've got yellow to yellow, made the blue, made the green, made the red, made the power leads, made everything, got it all marked out, no mistakes, wired all up, and it doesn't work. And I spent the rest of the day right up until right before the net chasing up and down the hill, and one of two things is going on. Either that run is just too long and I need bigger wire, or something has gone wrong inside the rotor and I've got a terminal disconnected, and I just can't picture how that could have happened. It was working when I took it down, and 2 days later I put it back up there. It don't work.
It's your bear.
Yeah, probably. He ate all of my electricity. All right, I'm going to go, guys. You guys get out of there. Good night, Judy. Good night, Mike. And I will see you in the morning. K6MYC in the net, W6BBS.
Yeah, I'll put a towel on my shoulder so you can cry on my shoulder, Frank. We'll see. See you in the morning. W6BBS, K6USY. Over to you, Aaron, for a final over. And Judy wants to say something else, too. Aaron, you pick it up and when Judy's done here. Go.
Just wanted to know how Jen was.
Oh, okay. Jen is going back to work tomorrow, I believe. So things are returning to normal, although her blood pressure is still a little bit high. And Mike, there was at one point in the middle of all this, I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about calling you up, telling you that I am getting fed up with this. I chase these ghostly problems at your house. I never chase them at mine, and now all of a sudden I'm chasing them at mine, and I don't want your gremlins rubbing off on me. And there, that I said it. Hi.
You said it, and I'm sorry that you've got that. See, the gremlins are like rabbits. You know, you put 2 of them together, next thing you go to 8. it's like Noah's Ark. You know, Noah, Lord, when he was trying to get ready to get the ark going, and he says, "I got problems down here, Lord. These rabbits are multiplying. We got to get this show on the road." You got gremlins the same way. See you tomorrow.
See ya. W6BBS. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, Frank.
Okay, good night, Aaron. Good night, Rob. Thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow.
731, KM6SR, going that way.
Oh, there he is. I was wondering where Rob went.
Well, we turned it. It was supposed to go to you, and then you were going to finish it, sending it to Rob. But go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I had to leave the room anyways to go put an 8-year-old to bed. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow night. K6USY DMO6.
See you later.